Hi folks, I'll try and make this a quick video. Looks a bit different without its face on, doesn't it? Its face is over yonder. Anyway, so I got my PSU, and I thought what would be a good thing to do is to go through this, suss out how to disconnect all of these lot here, the high tension and the low tension to the FM stage, and the other, you know, these are doing several jobs, you know, mixers and what have you, oscillators and mixers and what have you, and rob these two, I don't know, EM84, I don't know, just detector valves out there. What they just, you know what I mean. Anyway, remove me EWC83s. These are made by German. These are German, and they get a good rating on the internet. It says batteries going on this camera. Can you believe that? Oh, it's only a small battery that's in it. You can see bodge I've done here. This little connection here, this is making them so that they'll run on 6 volt now. So I've had to do that with both. And as I've said before, ladies and gents, where the inputs come in is where we need to attack, where we're going to feed audio. Let me just change batteries on here. That didn't take long, did it? Right, so so you can clearly see here from tuner section, these two screen cables coming out, exhibit A and exhibit D behind. Well, basically they just come from all the switching arrangement, the outputs if you like, and you can clearly see that the screen cable, well, you can't actually, or you can just see that braid goes here, look, and centre positives there, and it'd be same on black one. And then they make their way straight into volume control. This would have been master volume, you know, and then straight from output to that, there's a little bit of clamping going on. This top one's for left hand side, I think, and this other one's for right hand side. They're just identical, and then the outputs go straight into power, into preamp stage, to say on how much audio to give to the preamp tubes, the EWC83s. Right, so we're going to come along with exhibit F, okay, and I'm going to solder those in, and the reason for that is because I want to know, you see, one of these tubes works as a detector, and I just want to know whether it has any amplification going on. I don't think it does, because when I follow this 5-pin DIN socket here and I look into it, it doesn't go to any of this detector stage here. So you know, there's two of them. Can you see the two DINs? Well, they don't go to any of that, and they more or less make their way to switching arrangement, and then output of that then go straight to volume. So in other words, what I'm trying to say there is, I think there'll be enough stage gain on these EWC83s here to drive the PA, them two guys there, which I put in, as you can see. I put the heat shield in back. I think this is more of a hum shield rather than a heat shield, but I put that back, and when the EWC83s go in, they have a screening on as well, and it's all to keep hum down, and stopping the electromagnetic field from these affecting out, because these are running at high gain, you see. And so, you know, you very easily pick hum up. So we have to keep under them laws. And like I say, I've robbed all of that now. As far as I understand, these all robbed. I've just powered it up now to see whether we get heaters on here and whether these heaters are running correctly, and they seem to be, as well as my EL84s, and that's all that's up and running from what I can see now. There's no high tension to this lot, there's no HT to that lot, like I say, no low tension, it's out of there. This were panel bulbs as well, these were driving out bulbs up front which run off a heater supply. There's no need for any of them anymore, you know, so they've done one. Aye, so it's a shame, I suppose. But like Andy said, I've just seen your comment, Andy. I mean, what can I do with it, Andy? So I might as well try and make it into something different, haven't I? And it'd be nice to have a single-ended a single-ended audio amp there. So I'm just going to, like I say, I'm going to remove these guys here with my blowtorch, and I'm going to feed left and right audio, making sure I'm grounded correctly, straight there, put all this back together so I can drive it, and then I'm going to feed some audio input into it and put some speakers on and have a listen to it. We'll see if we can do that in this video, but I'll have to be careful at what I'm going to play. So whatever I do play won't have to be something that's popular. So I might have to play something that's completely obscure so that YouTube doesn't recognise it. Otherwise they'll just, you know what I mean, they'll just mark it down again. Yeah, by the way, Fred, did you get your Turner microphone sorted out? Once I got my YouTube going due to George there, I couldn't get to see any videos. I could get to see them, but they were all audio was choppy and it was just balmy with audio. So I did a typing on internet, Google Chrome chopped audio, and there were loads of people that are suffering from the same problem. Oh, you need to go to this, do that, this and other. Anyway, I did all of that and it didn't cure it. So I went to a new search engine, not search engine, a new oh, what do they call them now? A new Explorer, is it? Well, I don't know what they call them, I've forgotten. Anyway, Opera, one called Opera. And now my YouTube works again. I can watch videos. I don't have any chopped audio or anything. But I know you've been having problems there with your mic, Fred. I got to see some of the videos, but I couldn't tell what you were saying. I'll see if I can let you listen to it, because I've got both browser. I've got both browsers on, so I'll see in this video if I can let you listen to the audio or what audio will like using Google Chrome and then using the Opera, and you'll see for yourself. You couldn't watch it, it was unwatchable. Right, so I'm going to carry on. Now look folks, as I've said, I have to try and play something that's completely obscure that YouTube won't recognise. Well, I think I've done that, If I get some slander from YouTube for playing that, I'll be surprised that they recognise it. But it's in my collection. Anyway, so we've got a problem though folks, it's not happy. It's producing too much voltage for these EL84s. These EL84s, according to internet, they don't want any more positive HT than 2,500 volts. And at the moment, if you notice, I'm not using my bulb. Here's my bulb. I'm wired direct. That's just a shorting plug now, right? And basically, there's no connection to this wire, by the way. This wire is just to hold it there. It just loops into the top and stops it from getting lost, so it's always handy, you know. But basically inside there is just shorted out completely, so that now we can allow full supply to go from the variac. But I've got to turn it down. I can't allow full supply in. I could easily, you know, I'm at 2.5 there. You know, and I can easily go much higher than that, you know. So in other words, if it were connected directly to mains, it would be damaging them tubes. Okay, you know, so. But anyway, on initial sound test, I'm reasonably happy with it. So I've got to get HT lower on that. It's too high, which is a shame, innit? It's just too high. Americans are blasting him, by the way, today. Well, they were a minute ago anyway. this lot, by the way, is off now, folks. Completely out of there. You can pull any one of them out you want. They're absolutely irrelevant. That's completely off. You can touch anywhere you want. You won't die. The only thing that's running now is the driver stages and the final stages and them output transformers. The audio's coming straight in from the CD player here. And like I've told you often on my videos, you know, the Cobra 148, the audio and the power amp meet each other. You know, the power amplifier for the audio stages and the preamp stage meet each other right at the volume control. Well, it does in Hi-Fi, it does in amplifiers, and here's the scenario like I told you earlier, you know. This was from all its audio switching, so whatever part of receiver we're listening to, it just comes up to final switching, and then from there straight into volume control. So all I've done is connected direct. You know, they normally would have earth sleevings on, by the way. To keep hum down and what have you, you know. Sounds like a valve amp though, folks. Sorry about that, I wasn't even on, were I? Yeah, you won't like this music, I know it's a friend of mine really loves this fella. I'm not going to say who it is, I don't want to give YouTube any clues. But it's just one fella, by the way, that is just one fella. You'd think it were orchestras and everything, wouldn't you? It's just one fella. Digital. I think my mate's got 54 albums of him. How about that? 54 albums. I've had a look at current, by the way, current demand, and it's well within the, he can produce 160 milliamp and be happy. Well, he ain't even doing 80 milliamp, because he's only driving that now, you know, and that's at high volume. Anyway, what the next mission is, I'll have to, if anyone knows how to lower that down nice and easily, get in contact with us, will you? Can you see these here? As you know, it used to have two of those as its magic eyes there looking at us at front. It's disaster in this bloody workshop lately, folks, it really is. Now you can just see there, one there, look, and then another one, there is another one there. That were its front, you know. Now, what I'm going to do in a minute with this, I'm just going to set it up in a bit. As far as I'm positive that this uses a minus voltage to produce its display. It wants, from looking on internet, it wants 6.3 volts heaters, which is same as what Bevel is running on, and what all of these guys are running on here. It wants about 125 volts, maybe 130 volts HT, and then it wants the cathodes and the grids connecting up in a certain manner, what we can allow it to run as an audio detector. But the so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to make up now a mock version, like a mock version using this valve holder here, and I'm just going to make a mock version up to see it in its on state. I know it works because it was working as a tuning indicator when we tried it ages ago, if you remember. So I know that they work, both of these, and I've got some brand new ones of these in stock. So it'd be interesting to play with these, and you know, so once it's all built up I could have two of those vertical sat up vertical, one foot right hand side and one foot left, working as audio monitors. That'd be really nice in dark, wouldn't it? Be really sexy, that. Not listening to this, of course. Doesn't sound too bad though. It doesn't sound like a Quad 22, folks, or a B Meko Evantech, but it sounds alright. It's certainly open, and you can't hear that this is a mono camera, but it's certainly got separation, and it's very open, you know. And it's smooth, it's not yelly at you. What we doing now? Hey, you're out of there, aren't you, pal? Oh, heaters will still be running like on everything. Right then, so I'll mock this up, folks. I'll see if I can get this in a basic mock state, and we can see it lit up. And then as far as I know, then it wants about 0 to 14 volts minus at an audio rate. Where am I going to get that from? I don't know just yet. Still messing around here, folks. Before I get to this tuning indicator, as I'm turning the variac lower and lower, I realise then that this isn't properly testing it really, because he produces two supplies, heaters and high tension. And yes, the high tension's too high, but as I'm bringing it down on variac, of course I'm lowering the heater supply at the same time. Now, so what I've done, I've incorporated Beverly over there. Wants 2 amp, that really surprises me, that. So I've got him running obviously at DC. Now normally them heaters would run on AC, but at the moment now they're running on DC, doing 2 amp, right, at 6.1-ish, innit? And it definitely to me sounds a lot better. Sorry. Definitely sounds a lot more musical at that. So I'll have to bear that in mind. And that's running all of the tubes, by the way, all of the 4 tubes. I'm really surprised though that they want that much whack. Really surprises me, does that. What happens when you go lower, old lad? Time for it to deteriorate. Wow. And CD would be coming to an end there, wouldn't it? Bloody swine. So my HT, I brought my HT up a little bit, by the way. I'm running at just about 250. Yeah, it's completely gone, so it don't run at all at Whoa, come down a bit, what are you doing? Definitely sounds more musical, that, folks, to me. Okay, folks, back again. I was just thinking, I said at the beginning I was going to make this a fast video. I can keep going on forever, can't I, me? Right, well, I've mocked this up from what I've worked out on internet, and basically I've set it up in just an on state. And on state, there's no input grid going on. In fact, the grid is floating, so there'll probably be a problem with it and all. It'll probably suffer from feedback. Anyway, so we're giving it full titty, because I've already done a heater test. I always do an heater test first to make sure that I've got my pin connections right way around, because, yeah, look, it's off, look. Because if you Look at that. It's even affected by me. But if I were to ground now pin 1, which is exhibit F, ground pin 1, it'll just go to 0. You can't even see it with a light, can you? I'll see if I can put some lights on and see if it'll make a difference for you. Perfect here. It's iris at camera. That's better. It were feeding back, it were doing that, you know. But if I take control of the grid and 0 the grid to ground, it can't get no feedback, you see. So basically that's all it wants now. It just wants some input, and with input we'll see that modulating from left to right, you know. It's very similar to a tube in a TV, by the way. It were affected by my can you just see its centre part? Affected by me grounding its tube itself. Gotta be careful, there's 300 volts at one end of there, and there might even be some on the end of that. Very simple, those. Very simple. But anyway, and of course if I lower its variac, it wouldn't make really a lot of difference really, because that's actually where it should be. Actually, it should be about there. Right, so what I've got to suss out next, I'm going to go now, folks, right? I've babbled on enough in this video, but what I'll suss out next is how to set up a negative grid for it and where to connect it in the amplifier. I'm still not so sure. So if anybody does know how do they produce the negative? I need at least 0 to 14 volt negative to drive that at an audio rate. So it's obviously probably going to come from, I would have thought, either EL84 output or from audio output transformer, something like that, you know, and we have to make it negative going at an audio rate. Well, it's easy to create positive going, and I'm not so sure how you get negative going. But anyway, I'm going to do one, folks. But thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all later. This is 252, trying to make an homemade amplifier. Although listening to that, I've taken it off now, lads. Listening to it, I'm not happy with sound. It's, you know, you see, I'm not moaning, but if this amplifier doesn't float your boat musically, what's the point of going to all the trouble to make it? You know, it's got to, you know, I'm not being funny, but when I put them quads on, Fred once says to me ages ago, why don't you connect the quads directly to the computer and then we can listen to them? Well, you still can't listen to them like that, Fred, because the minute you put the analog audio from a tube into a computer, you're making it digital immediately. You're digitizing the sound, and that completely and utterly ruins everything that we're trying to achieve. So if you understand what I mean, Fred, you know, in other words, to you at that end, it'll just sound like probably a good digital recording, but you won't get the warmthness of the sound. It's like loads of these people, you know, I'm watching a lot of videos on Valve Audio, and they've got little iPhones and what have you playing into the Valve amp. That's no good. Anybody watching, that's no good, that's no good, that's no good, that's no good. You've got to have analog from the start to the finish. That's the only way you're going to get to hear true Valve Audio. You've got to have the whole thing. Nothing digital at all, nothing. That's the way to go. And, you know, so it's difficult for me to express to you on what they actually do sound like. They have a right nice warm sound, but only if everything's totally digital, you know. Bit crude, isn't it? But it don't matter, like, for mocking up. Oh, me grid's come off. Me grid. I've lost me grid. There's no one worse than losing your grid. I'll catch you later, folks. Okay, I'm gone.